Chris, here we are. Yet again, another recap episode for us, episode 3. Mm-hmm. Matthew Harris, your good buddy from Baldwin Wallace.
Told you he was goofy, bro.
Dude, he's
Told
awesome.
you he's goofy.
He's awesome. I love his energy. Love his energy. He's just an awesome individual. Even walking around the office with him, Chris, like he's just right away just like had an affinity towards the guy. Mm-hmm. Just super laid back. Again, like I'm and I don't mean this in the regard of like anything on his work ethic or anything. I mean, the guy obviously works hard and does well, but it's just like you look at him, you're like, dude, he's just.
There's no way.
Yeah, he's a business owner, but he's also just like a goofy, laid back kid, dude. He just keeps the kid spirit in him. So,
yeah.
Really good stuff, man. Really good recommendation to have on the show. I'm glad we did. What were some of your thoughts?
Just because I know Matt, I knew he was going to be a good guest and everything. And I think what he kind of brings to the table is, again, he's not an ideal CEO that you would that we typically would have on here. Mm-hmm. You know, he's goofy, he's funny, he's got good charisma, but he works very hard, and he wouldn't be where he's at right now if he didn't work hard. Mm-hmm. Super smart guy. So I just think that it kind of goes to reiterate, there's no one size fits all CEO. Like there's no schematic that says, you know, there are common characteristics of CEOs, but I don't think that it's like, you know, you have to have every single one to be a successful person, to be a successful CEO. Like Matt doesn't really exemplify the most disciplined person, mm-hmm. but he knows every dollar he analyzes in and out of his company. He's super smart on the financials of his company. He knows exactly how he wants to scale it. So yeah, I mean, he's just another example of, you know, there are different ways to do things. There's, you know.
Yeah. And I mean, the guy quite literally might have that company at $500,000 in revenue in sales within the next year or two.
I think he can.
Yeah.
I don't see why he can't.
Yeah.
Especially how he wants to scale it. I like how he's got a good business plan. Like I've known Matt a while, and he's always been like forward thinking and having that plan. That plan of action. So I know he's got it. I mean, he may not seem like it, but I know for a fact he's got this stuff written down somewhere how he wants to get there in 2022.
Yeah, I'm sure he does.
Mm-hmm.
So, Chris, remind our viewers again who it is we are and what we do.
Hey guys, both Dominic and I are loan officers here at Liberty Home Mortgage. So if you or anyone you know is looking to purchase or refinance a home, please email us at the elevateclepodcast@gmail.com. Subject line, looking to purchase or refinance a home. Email's in the description.
One thing I guess I could kind of see as a similarity between him and Buckeye's business, mm-hmm. Just for them individually, is the sense of like, hey, listen, you guys have made this thing almost $500,000 in sales company mm-hmm. on your own, mm-hmm. right? Maybe a helping hand here and there. If you take that leap of faith, right, take the floaties off and just jump into the deep end trying to swim mm-hmm. and really pour into hiring on help, maybe taking less income in the first 6 months to hire on more help, right, to pay your payroll. Who knows what you can explode that business to? I mean, again, I found similarities in the fact that it was almost a little hesitancy to say, hey, or a little hesitancy towards I'm ready to jump into hiring all these people and doing all this, and that, when in actuality he probably could mm-hmm. go out, be the face of business and go and get more business, go recruit more, you know, business for the company, more projects, and pay people to be in the roles that he is otherwise taken care of on a day-to-day basis as well. You know, it's that factor of letting go for your business. And
that's what Matt, his advice for any new and up-and-coming entrepreneur, someone who's like, you know, they have two paths they can go. They can take the W-2 job and just work at corporate, and, you know, maybe they like it, maybe not, or they can follow their passion and, you know, open up a, you know, whatever factory or something, mm-hmm. whatever business they want to pursue.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like, I love what he said at the end, which is, you know, it's amazing to see how much work you can get done when you're like all in, like when it's just like, you know, you're kind of back against the wall and stuff, instead of just like working a 40-hour work week at a corporate company. Mm-hmm. Like when your income relies on you working hard, it's crazy how much you can achieve, you know?
It's funny you bring that up, Chris, because that was literally the thing that was sitting on my mind all yesterday after the shoot, all last night. And then even this morning when I, was up at 5 a.m., got to the gym, whatever, this and that, and I was just working out, I was like, dude, that is the one thing I want to bring up today. And I'm glad you brought that up.
Sure.
Because I feel as though I want to put myself in scenarios where where my back's against the wall a little bit more. And it's just learning how to create those specific scenarios for myself, because I agree. It's almost like, okay, so for example, I guess my example would be, what if I treated the mentality of, okay, yeah, we have Hesh who buys all these leads for us, the Lending Tree and Zillow leads that we're calling the purchase inquiries to purchase a home, right? We're calling all those, and that's easy for us now, right? It's just so routine. But what about kind of creating the mental coliseum for yourself, or playing arena where it's like, okay, I'm stepping into this field of I want to act as a self-genner. Think about that. Like, how different would it be waking up on Monday morning knowing you're coming in here to call leads that are being purchased for you versus saying, I don't have those. I have to go out and generate my own business for next month. Mm-hmm. Who knows? And like he said, you would be surprised. Majority of people would be surprised with themselves what results they yield when their back is against the wall and they're doing what they have to do.
And for anyone confused on what Dominic's saying, just, because a lot of people aren't in the industry, Dominic and I work as mortgage loan officers, and we get our business basically two different ways. We have purchase or refinance leads that the company purchases, and we call them. They're either Zillow leads, Lending Tree leads,
we have inbound corporate website leads, so people go to our website, they get handed out, Realtor.com, just all clickbait,
Trulia.
But that is mainly filtered through Zillow and Lending Tree.
So we have those company leads that the company buys for us. We call them, we close them. And those could be from any of the 43 states that we're licensed
43,
in.
that's right.
For any 43 states that we're licensed in. So that's one way we get business. That's what Dominic is saying when it comes to the comfortability level, is we don't actually have to spend money to go ahead and get those deals. Really, you just have to be available when the lead comes up.
That's your investment right now, is time.
The other way is to get the self-generated leads, the referral-based business, which is, number one, more difficult, I'd say, just because, again, you're building relationships. You're not just building relationships, you're maintaining, growing the relationships. How do you get people to send you business, right? Networking, that would be with real estate agents. I mean, real estate agents is probably predominantly the number one thing, or, past clients, a lot of business to business.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Divorce attorneys, financial advisors.
Exactly.
Title companies.
So what Dominic is saying is, hey, listen, you can. There's a comfortability level with the company leads because your out-of-pocket expenses are zero. You don't pay anything to do that. Now, when it comes to like the self-gens, you don't have that to rely on. The company leads to rely on. You're relying 100% on somebody sending you business.
Right.
So it's burning the ships, really going out and finding the ways to make relationships with real estate agents, divorce attorneys, financial advisors, so on and so forth.
Yeah, and I guess for us also what I'm realizing too, Chris, is it's just a time thing. At the end of the day, the people that I see who have the most established relationships that have consistent business coming to them, they've been doing this thing for 10, 15 plus years.
And they've grown those relationships.
It just is. And I guess, with Matt too, one of the things I really liked about what he pointed out about his business is retention and with his clients.
He has great client retention.
It's a lot of just referral, or it's a lot of just repeat business. And one, obviously, that comes with good product. 2, good service. And I think 3, also like branding for your name. And branding, obviously, like Marcus says, like to build a legacy brand, it's 40 years?
40 years, yeah.
That's what the CEO of Disney said.
Yep.
So for Matt, it's just a matter of him being literally a household name. If you think video, you think Blitz Studio, Matt Harris Blitz Studios. That's going to take time. It's not going to happen right away. And you'll have your people right off the bat who are like, oh, you're looking for a video or this kind of production, this and that. You got to call my buddy Matt Harris at Blitz Studio. But for him to become like a very reputable brand, it's just going to take time. It's just going to take time. It's just how it is, because it's more mind share that you're taking up with people. I've read before that in order for somebody to truly make a commitment towards purchasing something that they see like an online ad for, they have to see it like 7 times, like 7 to 10 times. So think about that. For Matt, it's just a matter of putting himself out there more, making sure his product's out there with, his tag signature on it for the company. For us, I see it as, dude, I just got to be in this thing longer. That's why I think Hesh has such great referral business now, is because he found that 20 years ago, if he did these seminars or whenever he started them, it's funny, if Hesh were here, he'd be like, oh, I did my first one on August
June 2nd, 2002.
Yeah, 2002. Yeah, he knows the exact date and the exact time where it was, etc. He knows the exact date, the one that he missed.
Exactly.
Yeah. But nonetheless, he found that providing that info through the seminars for the continuing education for the realtors and attorneys, real estate attorneys. He provides continuing education hours for them that is approved through the states for them to continue their license and renew it. That would be a potential for him to get business, but I guarantee he wasn't getting as many referrals as he does now. I mean, the guy will close anywhere from 15 to 35 loans a month, right? He wasn't getting 15 loans, I guarantee, off the first seminar. I guarantee off the first 10 to 15 seminars he didn't.
First year or two. Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a while.
So I think for me, that's where I find frustration is like, you'll call 15 agents in a 2-week period, 3-week period, and it's like, damn, man, like it's just not sticking. Like I haven't seen anything yet. It's just going to take time. You got to keep it up and work relationships.
Dude, that's what it is, though. And I haven't talked to you about this yet, but, dude, what we were talking about a couple weeks ago, which was, calling the real estate agents, again, the self-gen business, calling the real estate agents, just putting your name out there, saying, hey, listen, call it a shot in the dark. And listen, you probably already have a preferred loan officer you're working with. But, again, shot in the dark, if, you don't, I'd love to have another 5-10 minutes with you. Maybe you can go grab a cup of coffee and just, help show you why I can be your guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, you're going to get a lot of FUs, and a lot of people are just going to say, no, I have the preferred lender, screw off. But like, dude, 20 real estate agents, I guarantee you at least 10 pick up, 5 will give you the time of day, and two will go ahead and say, let's talk, and maybe 1 will go ahead and give you business. You know what I mean? I don't know. Those aren't obviously exact numbers, but I agree. But again, it's how many times can you do that?
Yeah.
Every week or of every month.
Well, that's the thing too that I think people have a lot of trouble with, Chris, is, the 1 week into it or 1 day into it, let's even say, I mean, I've been there before where it's like, dude, you do it you're like, okay, I get the motivation, I'm going to do this. And then after 1 day, you're like, you feel a little discouraged or something happened, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it takes time. I mean, call them for 6 months. You're bound to have at least 1 or 2 stick to where you're actually now having a legitimate relationship built that is mutually benefiting you both. That takes time, man. I mean, it literally takes time, So at the end of the day, these building relationships, you have to be in it for the long haul. You have to be, and even for your business, if whatever aspect it is, it's just a matter of being in it for the long haul and being okay with that. The fact that it's going to take time, and it might not be 6 months, it might be 5 years of doing it. But all you need is that one idea to work, or that one relationship to work out for you. And what I think is important is, in the relationships, I don't want to go after the person who's already ultra successful. I want to go after the person where it is I know I can provide value and help bring them up. I think if you take a real estate agent, versus one that's closing 15 to 20 deals a month and has 20 agents under them, a big team, compared to the agent that's doing 2 to 3 deals a month, and you help elevate them up over $1 million in sales a month, in real estate, 5-6 deals, they'll be loyal to you forever.
Yeah,
because you're helping bring them up and elevating them. So I would rather, who I want to target relationships with is the people that is almost in the same line of where we're at. 3 years in the business, a hustler, hungry, wanting to grow. Hey, how can we benefit each other?
I love how you're plugging Elevate in there.
Always have to. So
absolutely.
It's about elevate yourself.
But and just to tie it, back to Matt, what I think he does really well is that relationship building, because he has such good client retention. And even Buckeye said it. He's like, and I don't quote me on it. I have to go back and watch it. But he said something like along the lines of, I'm in the business of building customers for life. That's what he said. I'm building customers for life. So he's like, that customer experience for him is, pinnacle. He wants to make sure that everything is, to the dot. So, he has those repeat customers. And same thing with Matt. He has the same exact, brownies versus video production. two completely different industries. But again, it goes back to the customer experience, the customer, those customer reviews at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. Even he said, he's like, Matt was, I'd rather give the guy, the $500 to $1,000 back so they don't write me a bad review, because his reputation is more important than the $500 to $1,000. He's like, it hasn't happened yet, but if it does, I'm willing to give it away. The time and energy spent, the monetary expense, whatever. I'd rather do away with that than have the bad review. Mm-hmm. Because again, even Joe Hill says that reputation is everything. Yeah,
100%. It's funny too, especially in the digital era where you have the person who's giving the review sitting behind a screen. They're never shown, so they'll let it rip.
Oh, that's what John DeJulia says in his book. He says not word of. He says, in where we're at right now, it's not word of mouth, it's word of mouse. Right? I don't know if you got to that part yet.
I'm not there 100% yet. No, I don't think so.
I gotcha. Well, he says everything's word of mouse, not word of mouth, because you're Dominic DiFranco. Google it. Where are you at? And then you have 2-3 bad reviews. Okay, well, maybe I'm not going to go with this person now. You know what I mean? Or Dominic DiFranco, he's got 100 5-star reviews. Why wouldn't I go with this person?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, I hear you. Main takeaway from Matt Harris that you would urge our viewers to consider implementing into their lives to help elevate themselves in every regard: business, outside of business, relationships, whatever it might be.
I think I love Matt's outlook on life. I think that I truly believe he's having just fun with everything. I think the minute that you stop having fun is the minute that it becomes a job and not something not a passion project. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Obviously, job's going to be a job, but if you can have fun doing it, which I truly believe Matt is just having fun every day doing his job. So it makes the sucky days not as bad, I think. Mm-hmm.
He does a good job at that. He keeps it very light.
I think so. And as long as I've known Matt, and we've worked on projects together back at our internship at BW, and I've seen him get into tight spots before where, we have a deadline and, dude, where you at? You know what I mean? And you can't tell that he's stressed. He's just like even keel, going with the flow. And guess what? At the end of the day, he brings it. You know what I mean?
Well, he said that also with the fact of, I'll have that internal anxiety that pops up towards the end of the month, like, oh my God, I need more projects for next month. I have bills to pay. And then he's like, it's funny how it always works out. Like, I always end up just getting a text message for like a big deal or an inquiry or whatever it might be. Yeah. So, and I find that to be true as well. It's like, you toil and run yourself crazy over, oh my God, I got to have deals for next month. I just had a great month. I close this out. And then it's like, by the time that worry, like before you can even get done worrying, like, people are, hey, I submitted an offer. Oh, hey, I have a new inquiry for this corporate video, whatever it might be. So,
hey, everyone, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Elevate Cleveland podcast. Dominic, wrap it up for us.
As Chris stated at the beginning of this podcast, we are licensed loan originators for the best mortgage company in the land. That is Liberty Home Mortgage. Guys, if you or anybody is looking to purchase or refinance a home, doesn't matter if you've done this 1, 10, or 100 times, call us, email us. The email is in the description below. Reach out to that email. In the subject line, put looking to purchase / refinance a home. Whatever it is your goal is, Chris and I will reach out to you within 24 hours, and we look forward to helping you with whatever it is your specific home goal is. Thank you.
My main takeaway for everyone listening would just be like, there's times to be serious for sure, but don't take life too seriously, where you're just like bugged out about everything. Mm-mm. I mean, he's killing it. Yes, he takes life very seriously. He's running a very successful company, but at the same time, like, dude, he's having fun.
I think it's true. It's very true that the situations that we're in business, whether it be for him or for us in mortgages, the only stress that is actually presented or that is present there is the stress that we put into it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, buying a home isn't stressful. It's the stress that's added in because you're making it a time-specific thing.
Yeah.
You're pissed about the lack of communication. Again, that's just your stress adding into it.
Yeah. So what's your for everyone listening, Dominic, what your takeaway? What advice?
I'm gonna find out ways I can put myself in more uncomfortable positions. I am taking the Matt Harris put your back up against the wall mentality, and I'm gonna try and do that for myself. in different regards. Whether it be my health and my fitness aspect that I'm really focusing on as of late to try and work on, whether that's in my spirituality, my faith, whether that's in my personal life, whether that's in my relationships, or whether that's in my business. I think across the board, I'm going to find one specific way that I can allow myself at least once or twice a week to very intentionally put myself in an uncomfortable position, something that I have not normally done in those areas, to see what's on the other side of that and what kind of growth can be there. Who knows? Maybe it's a new formed habit that really excels, that catapults me 10 years down the road in a 2-year time frame. So I'm going to put myself in uncomfortable positions and find out more ways that I can.
Dude, do it. Let me know how it goes.
Will, 100%. So that's episode 3 recap, excuse me, Matthew Harris, Blitz Studio. Great content, guys. And as always, we appreciate the views. We appreciate the listen. We appreciate the sharing. And, of course, we want feedback. We love interaction. We want to see what you guys think. What are your thoughts? What content is resonating with you? Who would you like to see more? I had somebody actually reach out to me that I want to talk to right after this who gave us a great recommendation. I'm actually very open to it. Cleveland-based guy, our age.
Ooh,
so we want to hear that, right? We want more people of all demographic, our age, older, whoever it might be. You know somebody out there who might be good for this show? Let us know. We'll get them on there. As always, check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Very important, go to YouTube. Hit the like button, subscribe. That helps us out, guys. At the end of the day, it helps get it out to more people. We believe this is valuable content. Chris and I believe in it. And like the butterfly effect, man, we always say, you share it with one person, you never know who it is they go and share it with and whose hands it ultimately ends up in and how they take the information and how it might change the world because something they implement.
Good stuff, Dominic.
Excellent, Chris. Appreciate it, man. Sign off.
All right, bye.